Hello dear students, since we have already done part 1 of chapter 6, A Bond for Life, let's continue with the same in this video, that is part 2 of the same chapter. So open your books at page 49.
When I had played with it a little while, Miss Sullivan slowly spelt into my hand the word DOLL. So when I, means Helen Keller, had played with that doll for a little time, Miss Sullivan, means her teacher, slowly spelt into her hand the word DOLL. So she spelt on her hand DOLL. I was at once interested in this finger play and tried to imitate it. So it was very interesting for me that somebody has played her fingers upon my hand, and it was interesting for me. I also copied it. I tried to copy it. Imitated means copied it. When I finally succeeded in making the letters correctly, I was flushed with childish pleasure and pride. So when I was able to do it, I was able to copy it successfully, I was very happy. Running downstairs to my mother, I held up my hand and made the letters for doll. So I just ran towards my mother downstairs, and I just kept my hand and started writing those letters DOLL. I did not know that I was spelling a word. I didn't know that I was spelling a word, or even that words existed, because I didn't know anything earlier. So I didn't know that I was spelling a word and those words existed in this world. I was simply making my fingers go in monkey-like imitation. I was just copying like a monkey. In the days that followed, I learned to spell in this uncomprehending way a great many words. So without understanding means this uncomprehending means not understanding, means without understanding I learned so many words to spell. So many words. Among them were pin, hat, cup, and a few verbs like sit, stand, and walk. But my teacher had been with me several weeks before I understood that everything has a name. So, but my teacher was with me, had been with me several weeks before I understood that everything has a name. I just came to know the words and the spellings, but what were the real meaning of those words, and the words and the things those words represent, those things I did not understand. It took so many weeks that I came to understand those words. Let's move on to the next page. So then one day, while I was playing with my new doll, Miss Sullivan put me a big rag doll into my lap also. So when I was playing with the doll which was presented to me by Miss Sullivan, so Miss Sullivan took that doll and gave me a big rag doll. Rags are the torn clothes, a doll made by rag clothes. So spelled DOLL. So she spelled again DOLL on my hand and tried to make me understand that DOLL applied to both. Means she wanted to make me understand that DOLL was for both of the things, means the word which was spelled on her palm and the thing which was given to her lap, the doll made of rags. Earlier in the day, we had a tussle over the words. So earlier in the day also, earlier we had a struggle. Tussle means struggle over the words mug and water. MUGWATER. Miss Sullivan had tried to impress it upon me that MUG is mug and that WATER is water. So, but I persisted in confounding the two, but I was not able to understand the difference between the two. I was confused. Confounding means confused. In despair, in disappointment, she had dropped the subject for me for the time. So, because I was completely confused, I was not able to understand, she dropped the topic and started to move on. So, in despair, she had dropped the subject for the time only to renew it at the first opportunity. She thought that whenever the next opportunity will come, she will explain to me about these words once again. I became impatient at her repeated attempts. She was trying a lot. She was repeatedly trying to make me understand and seize the new doll. So, because she was telling me again and again, I got irritated. I here refers to Helen Keller. So, she got irritated and seized the doll, snatched the doll, the new doll. I dashed it upon the floor. She threw it and she just threw it very hard on the floor. I was keenly delighted when I felt the fragments of the broken doll at my feet. She here means Helen Keller, felt that all the doll was broken by that push hard, because he had dashed it upon the floor very hard, so it was broken, and the fragments means parts of the broken doll were lying here and there, and she could feel that a few parts were near her feet. Neither sorrow nor regret followed my passionate outburst. So I was so very angry that I was not feeling any sorrow and regret of breaking that doll. I had not loved that doll. In the still dark world in which I lived, there was no strong sentiment or tenderness. In which world I was living, that was completely dark. I was not able to see and I was not able to understand. I was not having any knowledge and education about the words, and I was not feeling those words and the things. So there were no any strong sentiments and feelings and tenderness. I felt my teacher sweep the fragments to one side of the hearth. So I could hear that how my teacher was collecting all the parts of the broken doll on the hearth, means the floor of a fireplace. So I was able to hear that she was collecting, she was organizing, she was doing that work, and I had a sense of satisfaction that the cause of my discomfort was removed. So I was very happy that doll which I didn't like, I had broken that, and I was very satisfied. She brought me my hat. Then she brought to me my hat, and I knew I was going out into the warm sunshine. So when she came with my hat, so I came to know that we were going outside into the warm sunshine. So this thought that I was going outside, if a wordless sensation may be called a thought, made me hop and skip with pleasure. So although I was not able to speak and I was not able to express my happiness, and the only way to express my happiness was I started hopping and jumping and skipping with happiness. We walked down the path to the well house. So we started moving outside of the house and going towards the path which was to the well house, attracted by the fragrance of the honeysuckle with which it was covered. So the area was covered with honeysuckle and the fragrance of it, and someone was drawing water, and my teacher placed my hand under the spout. So when we reached the well house, I just could feel that someone was pumping the hand pump, and my teacher was, what did my teacher do? That someone was drawing the water, someone else was drawing the water, and my teacher placed my hand under the spout. Spout means the mouth of the water well from which the water flowed out. So my hand was placed under that spout, the mouth of the hand pump. As the cool stream gushed over the hand, she spelled into the other hand the word water, first slowly, then rapidly. Then when my one hand was kept under the water, as the cool stream gushed over one hand, someone was drawing water, and my teacher placed my hand under the spout. So someone was drawing the water from the hand pump, and my hand was kept under the mouth of the hand pump. So the water started flowing over one hand, and the teacher Anne Sullivan spelled the word WATER on the other hand, first slowly, then rapidly, then quickly. So I stood still. I was standing still without moving, my whole attention fixed upon the motions of her fingers. My whole of my concentration went towards the words which we was just spelling on my hand. Suddenly I felt a misty consciousness as of something forgotten, a thrill of returning thought, and somehow the mystery of language was revealed to me. So this was the time, this was the miracle that happened to her. Suddenly she felt that, as if earlier she had forgotten that she should relate the words and the things. So this was the moment she realized suddenly that she felt a misty consciousness, means she just thought that this is the mystery, that these words which are being spelt on my one palm and on the other palm, the thing that is water was flowing. So this way I came to know the mystery of the language was revealed to me. I came to know about the mystery of the language. I knew then, at this moment I came to know that WATER meant the wonderful cool, something that was flowing over my hand. So this was the moment I came to know that these are the these spellings WATER is the meaning of the wonderful cool something, means this liquid which was flowing on her hand. That living word awakened my soul. This word had awakened her soul, gave it light, hope, joy, and set it free. So this way she came to know that all the words which were being spelled on her palm earlier were the names of the things which were given to her to touch. There were barriers still, but even now there were some hindrances, there were some barriers, it is true, but barriers that could in time be swept away. So these were the barriers, which could be overcome. I left the well house eager to learn. So at this moment I was very happy that now I have come to know that I will learn the language. So I was very curious to learn. Everything had a name. So I had come to know that everything has a name, and each name gave birth to a new thought. So each name gave me new thoughts. As we returned to the house, every object which I touched seemed to quiver with life. So now I was very curious to know about the words and the things. So when I came back to home, so everything that I touched, I was curious to know about its name, and I knew that each word has life. That was because I saw everything with strange, new sight that had come to me. Now my thought process had changed because earlier I didn't know how to think and how to relate the words, with the things. Now I had come to know. On entering the door, I remembered the doll I had broken. As and when I entered the home again, came back to home, my house again, I remembered that I had broken the doll. I felt my way to the hearth. I just found my way to the floor of the fireplace and picked up the pieces. I just collected all the pieces. I tried vainly, uselessly to put them together. Then my eyes filled with tears, for I realized what I had done, and for the first time I felt repentance and sorrow. And for the first time I just repented over it, and I just felt very sad that what I have done. I learned a great many new words that day. That day I learned so many new words. I do not remember what they all were, but I do know that mother, father, sister, teacher were among them. Words that were to make the world blossom for me. So these were the words: mother, father, sister, teacher, and many more other words, which were the words which helped me to make my world blossom for me. Like Aaron's rod with flowers means in the Bible, Aaron was the brother of the prophet Moses. He had a staff, means a stick that budded and blossomed, signifying that his people would be the priests of Israel. So all this represents her happiness, and the days which were coming in her life will be very full of life. So it would have been difficult to find a happier child than I was, as I lay in my crib at the close of that eventful day. And when that day was over at night, I felt very happy. So it would have been difficult to find a happier child than me. I was the happiest child of the world that night. When I was in the bed, I was thinking that this eventful day was a day full of joy for me, and lived over the joys it had brought me. And that day had brought a lot of change in her life, and for the first time longed for a new day to come. First time I desired that a new day will come, and I will learn a lot. I will learn so many things. So she was very happy after that day. Hope you have enjoyed the chapter. Hope you have learned a lot. If you have any doubts, you can contact me.